Can you hang up? My meeting's supposed. All right, I'll just let my phone sit over here. Okay. I'm back.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Now I need volume. I'm sorry about this, everybody.
It's okay.
It's okay.
There's
Ain't
too much,
technology grand.
too much going on here at the house. All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order for the March 2nd, 2021 Dover Select Board at 6:32.
Yep.
Public comments. Anybody? Okay, hearing none. We're gonna go to the highway. To consider quotes for the brick building water filtration system. Is that, is this Travis?
Yeah,
Yes.
Talk to
All
us,
right.
Travis.
so the water filtration system is old and outdated, and we've been having troubles keeping it going, and I wanted the board's opinion whether this was something you guys wanted me to take care of now, or if you guys were planning on doing it when we did the well at some point, or the system went down and we couldn't get it fixed. But one of the contractors that I had come look at it to give us a rough estimate of a price was able to fix it. So I guess I was wondering what you guys wanted me to do with it, if you wanted to do it now or wait till we did the well and everything all at once.
Is it currently operational, Travis?
Currently operational, yes, it's all up and going.
What was the problem with it?
There's a UV system part of it. I mean, it's not only the water softener, there's a UV system that takes care of, what did he say it took care of? Took care of the calcium and all the deposits in the water. And that is what's old and outdated, and in our model, you can't get parts for anymore. And so that's why I was wondering what you wanted to do. If you wanted to try and limp it along for now until you figured out what we were going to do with the well, or if you wanted me to get some numbers, more hardcore numbers on replacing everything in there.
Sarah?
So did you, when you first said it, you said they were able to fix it. Does that mean they did it or that they said they can?
The company we deal with that actually sells that unit
Mm-hmm.
said that they couldn't fix it. They've done all they could.
Right.
But one of the other well contractors that I've contacted, and they came and looked at it and said, oh, you need to do this and do this. And I said, well, by all means, give it a shot. It's dead right now.
Mhm.
And he got it going.
Okay, so for right now, it's repaired and functional.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So
So we can't, Travis, we can't really go and get anything for that or replace that until we get the recommendation from the state after we dig the well, if that fixes the problem, because then they can put in from what I can understand from the water sampling, is that there's actually a treatment system that can take out some of those PSAFs or whatever.
yep.
So we
Yep.
might have to wait to see what
That's
they
fine.
say.
Yep.
But luckily it's working.
Yeah. I mean, I got some numbers just in case you guys wanted to try and do something, just some rough numbers. But, if we, like you said, it's probably best to wait and do it when they do the well so that everything's all updated to once.
Exactly.
Any other board comments or questions?
Nope.
Public comments? So what I'm hearing, Travis, and I would also agree, I think we're gonna have a whole package of opportunities to do water issues at the library and daycare. And so I think that if we do it as a comprehensive package, it's probably gonna be,
Yeah, I
Best.
agree. I agree.
but thank you
I
for bringing
just-
it to our attention.
I wanted to bring it to your attention because it was down and it, like I said, we were on the phone with all the contractors that sell that unit and they couldn't figure it out. So I was like, oh no. But
So hopefully we'll limp through till we can figure out what we're
Hope so.
doing.
Yep.
Jeanette, are you okay with that? Did you
Yeah,
get that?
I was just gonna say, hopefully, what if it breaks down again before, I mean, our well situation isn't gonna be
They-
done anytime soon, so.
I don't think they're drinking that water up there. I think
Oh,
they're
no,
only
they're
using it
not.
to flush toilets and heat
Yeah.
the building.
Doesn't
You know,
really
it's for the water, for the heat, but other than that, I don't.
Right.
Matters.
Thank you. Moving on to unfinished business. We have the subcommittee report on town meeting location options. And I know you guys went on a tour today. So who is going to speak for your group?
Andy, why don't you?
Andy?
Okay, sure. And jump in, Sarah and Shannon, whenever you like. Basically, we made a field trip to Corinthia this morning, just to put eyeballs on it and see if we thought it might work. I was favorably impressed with the situation up there. Looks big enough. It looks, like we could hold an election in the same space as the meeting, which makes everything a lot easier. It's modern with all the conveniences, handicap accessible bathrooms, etc. There's big, huge 2-story doors that can be opened if the weather cooperates for ventilation, which would be awesome. Shannon has some questions into Mount Snow regarding the sound system, which apparently is controlled by their phone company, to see if we couldn't tap into the existing sound infrastructure. If not, we would be looking to bring our own sound system probably, though projecting from where you folks might sit at a town meeting didn't seem to be much of a problem. I don't know if the doors were open, it would be more of a problem, but it's pretty intimate with the balcony. Reminds me of the old Boston Garden, you're right on top of the ice, Terry O'Reilly. You could almost reach out and high five him after a fight. Anyways, it was a cool space that I think would work. The town hall is the other option that we talked about. Would require a tent in front of the town hall. We could make that work. It would be more of a challenge, in my opinion, given the need to hold an election at the same time as town meeting. That might have to happen in the building. I don't think we, voted as a committee to give you a recommendation. But we're certainly open to answering any of your questions as you make a decision.
I have a question. Did you guys discuss price? Is Mount Snow going to charge us? Is it just a nominal fee to cover their expenses? Or is it a venue fee?
So we didn't discuss price. We met with Kelly Murphy, who was designated by Mount Snow to meet with us. I don't think she was necessarily authorized to discuss price with us. My idea was that, perhaps I could see Mount Snow doing this for free. But as well, if we're looking at when Dan was so kind to get some prices for tents at the town hall, I thought, geez, if we're going to save $1,700, by doing it at Mount Snow, it makes sense that, during these times when I'm sure they're not having the year that they would have had we not been in the middle of a pandemic, it would make sense to me to reserve at least that much money to offer them. And I think that if you decided you wanted to move forward at Corinthia, we could certainly get a price for you or find out it's free.
It's my understanding at this point that there wouldn't be a site fee, and that it would be the same site agreement we've seen previously from them. That would only change if we needed like equipment or food and beverage or anything, is what I understand so far, but they're going to send me some more details tomorrow.
Dan?
I wasn't able to make it because at 8:30 in the morning is the only time we do any business here. And due to COVID, it's just me and Anna, and we're killing ourselves here. However, I'd be happy to go when you want to figure out the sound part, as I've offered on many occasions. I have a sound system that would work anywhere.
Well, I think first we're going to see if they already have something that's already hardwired in, and they may have contracts that they don't want us to step on toes over, but certainly that would be part of the mix. My recollection we had an original discussion about this months ago, and the general manager of Mount Snow was in the meeting. And my recollection, and very possibly is fuzzy, was that they were not intending to charge us if we wanted to use the Grand Summit, but.
I don't think that was
Hey, this
really
is-
clear.
Okay. Maybe
I think
just
that's
wishful
something we
thinking.
definitely need to, excuse me, explore
Mhm.
the cost if there is a.
Hey, this is Tracy Bartels, the GM at Mount Snow.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
We were just talking about you.
Sorry, I heard that, yeah. So I'm on the phone, I'm not there visually. So yes, we would not charge a site use fee at all. So we'd provide the venue free of cost, again, just like Shannon said, if there was no food and beverage charges. So as long as that, we would cover any cleaning costs and setup and all of that for the town, so no problem.
Wow.
So, and it would just be that normal site use agreement, so we'd
Thank
be
you.
happy to host it.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated, Tracy. Thank you.
Of course, yeah, happy to help out.
So Andy, since you're the spokesperson, are you guys gonna come back to us in 2 weeks, or do you to just get all the details nailed down and try to figure it out?
So I think if you guys wanted to make a decision to pursue definitely holding it at Corinthia, or enable us to do so, yeah, we would then move forward with making more definite plans and logistically making it happen, and we can report back to you whenever you want.
Any board questions or comments? Scott?
I might have missed this. Did you say you're going to try to do the voting and everything there as well, right?
I'm having
Yes.
hard time hearing you, Scott. Sorry.
Did you catch what I said?
No,
was asking
not
I
if
really.
did.
you're doing the voting there, which Andy replied yes.
Yes, so I believe, Scott, you asked if we were going to hold the election for officers in the space where we have the meeting at Corinthia, and the answer is yes, that would be our intention.
Any other board questions? Any other?
Just
Joe?
comment wise, it obviously cost wise makes sense to go forth with Corinthia. There's plenty of parking. It's easy, accessible for everything, as opposed to a tent on grass, having to set up tables outside. I mean, I think we have an opportunity to have a place to do it that's indoors in case it's windy or crappy weather. Trying to do it underneath the tent doesn't make a lot of logical sense moving forward, but that's just my comment. So
Thank
I
you,
would
Joe.
also think-
Appreciate it. Anybody else from the board?
Can you hear me?
Kind of, Scott, not very well.
Just saying, yeah, I think we should pursue doing it at Corinthia. That seems like, for all the reasons that have been spoken, but seems like the most logical, especially if they're not going to assess us a fee. So that's where my vote would be. Move forward with Corinthia.
Are there any questions or comments from the public? I do not see anything. So it sounds like the board is in agreement that we should move forward with Corinthia. Would somebody like to make a motion to that effect?
I
Sarah?
move that we hold the town meeting this year at the Corinthia Base Lodge.
Second.
Do I need more in the motion? We've already got the
Probably
date.
the date,
Well, the date's already
Yeah, May.
fixed.
18th or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think we're okay. We've already determined we're doing it May 18th.
Right.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dan?
No comment.
No
I asked
comment.
about the sound system and I keep on getting ignored. So I still think we have to go up there and find out if we can do sound. And according to Shannon, it's through the telephone company and we don't know if we have a sound system. I've offered my sound system, which is far what you would need to run a meeting. But every time I make a suggestion, it gets ignored. So I have no comment on the vote.
Can I clarify the AV for a moment?
Yes.
Okay. So the sound system there is run by First Choice. The questions that we are awaiting their confirmation of are, there are 2 microphones, one on the first floor and one on the second. We just want to ensure that we'll be able to use both so that we can have one like we normally would for the board and like the moderator area, and then one in a stand for any public. So we're just waiting to make sure that that will all work out, and that also if it is nice weather and we're able to open those doors, that the sound can also be brought to the patio. So we did talk today that if for some reason we can't do that, that we knew we had access to sound systems and we would be happy to bring them. But hopefully this is one more thing that they'll just be able to do for us and we won't have to bring.
Thank you, Shannon. Andy, do you have something else?
I just wanted to thank Dan for the offer of his sound system, and to let you know, Dan, that in my thinking, I can't speak for anybody else, when I was looking up there at their facilities and we were talking about sound, I was thinking, it would be awesome if we could use the sound installed and designed for the space, but if we can't, we can always use Dan's, because you had offered it. And that, in the back of my mind, I was thinking Dan's got our back as far as sound goes, so we're good. In no way did I ever want to ignore you.
Thank you, Andy.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank
The
you.
town appreciates Vale's and Mount Snow's offer, and it looks like we're going to take you up on it. And we'll continue to work through the sound issues, Dan, and make sure we have good sound for the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Thanks, folks.
It's exciting. We have a time and a date,
Yeah.
And a place.
and now we're going to have a budget.
Now you can publish it.
Sweet.
And that's what we're moving on to, is the review of the budget, the highway, the operational, and the total. I hope everybody had a chance to refresh their memory of the with the budget. We haven't looked at it for a couple of months. So are there any questions before I launch into a few things I want to talk about?
I'm good.
Okay. So I just want to make sure, Jeanette, the water study repay, we'll be done with that after this year. There is no, because that line item is 0 now.
Yes,
Okay, I
That's
just
correct.
wanted to verify that.
aware of, yes.
I also also asked Jeanette and Marco to fill in the appropriations that have been asked for, and if we warn them, what the budget is, because the current budget is missing the library, rescue, SEVIDS, and several others. So if we fill those numbers in, we come up with, we're still down in the highway and operational 1%, which is approximately 29,000 and change. We are down from the year before. Okay, that's all good news. We worked hard to get a level funded budget. We thank the department heads. Everybody worked hard. The problem is our capital fund, because we are putting more money into the capital fund than we're saving here. So we are going to have to raise more money in taxes than we did last year. So the capital funds, and I guess I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm just kind of giving everybody the whole picture, because I think we should look at the whole picture when we look at the budget. So we're going to raise 80,000 is what we landed on for capital building, which is the same as last year. We're going to raise 600,000 for paving, which is $50,000 less. So there's 50,000 of the that we're saving. So 29 and 50. But then we're going to raise 500,000 in capital equipment, which is $200,000 more than we raised last year. So I just want to put that out there, that at the bottom line is we're going to be trying to raise another $120,000 if all of this is approved, and the tax rate will reflect that. So those are my comments, and I don't know what other board members are thinking or the public is thinking. Dan?
Question to Marco, with the boom, obviously, and more people being here and filling some empty spaces, are we raising any taxes as a result of their improvements through assessment or anything? Or are we still at the same amount of money that we collected last year?
Unless has
We're still at the same amount of money. I mean, the assessments won't really, if there is an increase in the market, that won't probably take effect for some time, if at all. And that's more of an assessor question.
I don't see
But-
Linda here, but she
Yeah.
has lodged the grand list, so I don't know, did that change the
Don't know.
valuation? I don't know either, but that's a fair question.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's gonna come up, it's gonna cover the 120,000. In a normal year, that wouldn't be a big deal. It's just, we worked really hard to try to, level fund our
Right.
budget. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just want everybody to think about the capital budgets. I think that if we don't raise the 500,000 this year, if you look at the capital budget, equipment budget, we're going to run into problems down the road. And as much as I hate to raise the money this year in the middle of a pandemic, I'd hate to have to say, oh, no, we need another 500,000 on top of this. So it could be even worse in 1 year, and we could have shock. Maybe, I don't know, it's been a rough winter. I don't know if we're going to have the surplus.
don't know.
So who knows? That's a crapshoot too, but there's been a lot of snow, a lot of, I'm sure, Travis, your budget is being maxed out, and it's not, that's what it is. So, yes, Miss Randy.
So just a quick question on the capital. So during the our budget meetings, and granted, I know it's not a lot, but I think every $10,000 matter, that I believe I can put a cruiser off, because I know that this year we're scheduled for 2, and I know I could potentially put one off. So, and I don't have that in front of me. So I know that's probably up mid $20,000 that can probably taken off. I don't know if that was already taken off or if that was still in there, but I'm about 100% sure I can put one off. So if that will help at all, I don't know if that makes a difference there.
There's just the EQ1 in this year.
Yeah, There's just one.
Just one.
Oh, is there? Then maybe
I
we've
think
already
we
did it
moved it,
then.
Randy.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
let's
wasn't
say
sure.
Deerfield.
Next year we have
Okay.
two.
Right.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure. I didn't have it in front of me. Thanks. Just trying to help.
And we appreciate it. And this is a good exercise because we worked on budgets a long time ago. So, yeah. Anybody else have any other comments? Andy?
So, as far as the grand list goes, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I do remember that, because of an adjustment to the Grand Summit timeshares, I think the value went from 19 million to 13 million. So I would expect there's a drop in the grand list. You know, in a $1 billion grand list, you know, that's not a huge drop, but it's significant. So we're not going to expect, I don't think, that the grand list is going to grow much this year to help out with this. I am in favor of the prudent planning, however, now, as opposed to the big increase later.
Thank you. Any other discussions about the budget? Let's talk about the highway, the general and the highway first. Is everybody ready to vote on the budgets tonight?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Okay, so let me. So, and then, okay, so the budgets as presented, the highway is, as in the agenda, $1,499,236.64. Operational, $133,881.64 for a total of $3,133,118.28. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve those budgets?
I make a motion that we approve the budgets as presented.
Second,
Second,
Okay, Joe, second.
sure.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, now we're at the capital budgets. Is there, we're looking at paving for 600,000, the building for 80,000, and the equipment fund for 500,000. Does somebody want to make a motion about that?
I move that we accept the budgets as presented.
second,
Second by Dan. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 So MHCH Memorial Hall Center for the Arts has not asked for money. Is that correct, Jeanette? So we're not going to warn that article.
No.
Okay. Thank you. So we are ready to move on. That's the end of our unfinished business. Thank you, Marco, Jeanette, and everybody has helped pull that together. We appreciate it. All the department heads, everybody worked hard. We appreciate it. New business, resignation and appointment of new library board trustee. Everybody was copied on a letter from Ed Parkman about, and I guess I should read it into the record. Dover Select Board dated February 14th, 2021. The first intent of this letter is to inform you that Kevin Stein has resigned from the Dover Free Library Board of Trustees. I believe Kevin's 5-year term was just renewed last year, so he would have 4 or 5 years remaining on the term. Kevin's increased duties on the town planning board or his primary reason for leaving the library board. The intent of this letter is to recommend Joe Levy to replace Kevin on the Board of Trustees. The library has reached out to Joe and he has expressed his interest in becoming a board member. He will submit his consent form in the near future for the upcoming town elections. Joe has lived in Southern Vermont for the past 20 years, the last 7 of which have been in Dover. He is an account manager for Blackstone Audio, where he works and with public and academic libraries throughout the Northeast and Canada. He has also served on the board as the board chair and events manager for the Friends of Historic Memorial Hall in Wilmington. I believe he will make an excellent addition to our board. Ed Brookman, chair of the Dover Free Library Board of Trustees. So I asked clarification from Jeanette and Andy today, if it's still allowable for people to offer their letter of consent to get on the ballot, so that this would be something that would be voted on May 18th. And yes, the answer is until March 25th. Is that correct, Jeanette?
29.
29th, March 29th. So Joe Levy could put his name in and actually run for this position. Because it should be, if he doesn't, it will be an open position. And so I don't know if the board wants to appoint somebody for 2 months or just have it as a open, somebody could run in 2 months. So I'm open to comments on this. Sarah?
Has anyone from the library expressed an opinion about whether they need to have that seat filled immediately or could wait?
I've heard nothing. I assume that they thought we would probably appoint somebody now.
Okay. I don't really see a problem with appointing somebody now, as with the understanding that they're going to be running in a couple of months. If that's what the rest of the library board would like, to have that seat filled, it's not a hardship to us.
I completely agree. My only concern is nobody else realized that the library seat was available necessarily.
So is that something we put a letter in the paper to let people know that the seat will be open to be run for, and that they need to get their request in by the end of the month?
Not necessarily. We've done it both ways.
Okay.
Usually for select board and for that type of position, we do absolutely make it available for people. It doesn't mean somebody else can't put their name in at this point as well and get on the ballot.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Comments? How about from the public? Anything? So how does the board want to proceed? Does somebody want to make a motion? Dan, did you say no?
I think first we
make-
have to move to accept the resignation
Yeah,
of Kevin Stein.
Kevin Stein, right?
So I move that we accept Kevin Stein's resignation with regret.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
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 That was unanimous. And how do we want to proceed from here?
that's the question.
I'm fine with appointing Joe to the board at
Until the
you know,
next
trustees
election.
Until the next election. But then I guess would like to have a little bit of a conversation about how we make public the fact that this seat is available, so that other people know that they could run for it.
Well, Andy, thank you.
So typically, I put an ad in the paper every year listing the offices that will be open and voted on at town meeting. And I put in the deadline to get your consent form in to appear on the ballot. petitions in a normal year, but there's no petitions this year. I did that in anticipation of town meeting on, today. So now that town meeting is May 18th and all the dates have shifted, I'll put another ad in the paper and list all of the positions, all of the elected officers that will be on the ballot. And this will be a new one that didn't appear in my last ad. And that gives folks an opportunity. And I have had folks walk into the office looking for consent forms because of that ad. So I'll do that again. If you want more than that, I'm open to more than that, whatever you want.
My personal opinion is that would be adequate.
Okay, Jeanette?
Well, and it will also be in the minutes and, on the website as well. Just from this discussion, so.
I'm glad to hear we're gonna let everybody know and let everybody know there's more time to still get your name on the ballot, because I'm not sure everybody's aware of that. So thank you for doing that, Andy. Dan?
At least a dozen people came in today, want to know if we're having town meeting today.
So where does that put us? What's the board's comments on whether to appoint Joe Levy, and it's now March 2nd for 2.5 months, or to just leave it open for election on May 18th? Yes, Sarah.
Scott, has John said anything to you about it as the library liaison?
No, and can you hear me all right?
Now I can.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I have not spoken with him. Reading that letter was that we had the email was news to me. So I can reach out to him, I can talk to him, but I would think if that's their suggestion to appoint, we at least appoint for whatever, even if it is only 2 months or whatever.
I think
have him
that's
be
reasonable.
there, and that seems to make sense.
Agreed.
Any other comments? So if the board wants to appoint somebody, we're going to need a motion.
So I move to put Joe Levy as what was the position?
Library
Board of
trustee.
Trustees, Dover Free Library.
Okay. So I move to make Joe Levy the board of trustees until the election.
Until the
Second.
next, okay.
Until the next election.
So Scott has moved to appoint Joe Levy to the Dover Free Library Board of Trustees until the next election. And Dan has seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Jeanette, thank you. Thank you. Economic Development, Eric or Shannon, I'm not sure who's up first, or if they're just Eric tonight, or just
Just me
Shannon.
tonight.
Oh.
And just some very quick updates for you guys. So working on wrapping up with RT Brown from the BDCC, the Dover revolving loan fund that we've been talking about. It's literally in the final stages right now. So once we have a final agreement from them, I will get it in front of the lawyer and then get it in front of you guys for your final approval before we announce that as an available source for our businesses. Andy and I had a really great meeting this morning with the United States Forest Service and Southern Vermont Trails Association regarding how to move forward, or what the next steps are with moving forward with the Ridge Trail project. So I'll be meeting with Steve from Southern Vermont Trails Association this week to discuss getting a tentative plan together to be approved by the Forest Service so that we could even possibly get some of the things moving later this summer. So that's exciting news. And then the only other update is that things with the town website are moving forward very quickly at this point. So I'm hoping to have a new website for you guys to look at here very shortly.
Great.
Thank you.
That was very brief and very informative. Thank you.
Succinct.
Any questions of the Economic Development Department this week?
Nope.
Thank you both. And we need to move into the Board of Liquor Control.
Motion to go into the Board of Liquor Control.
Second.
Seconded by Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The first item is to consider stipulations on license approvals. Randy Johnson, please.
So I don't know how you want to do this. The only, out of all the ones that are listed, my only concerns are the Snow Republic. So I don't know if you want me to go right into that, or do you want to deal with the other ones or all at once? You want me to talk first? You tell me.
So for every class, are you concerned? For all
Yes.
items here? Okay.
For Snow Republic, yes.
So let's approve, since the other ones are only Deerfield Beverage Concepts, let's work with those first and get those done.
Okay.
So,
Well, I
Sarah.
make a motion that we approve the first class, third class, and second class licenses for Deerfield Beverage Concepts, LLC DBA Deerfield Bar and Bottle Shop.
Second.
second by, was that Scott?
Mm-hmm.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
And I make a motion that we approve the second class license for A Nice LLC DBA Snow Mountain Market.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Again, unanimous. All right, so let's go back to item A under liquor control. Stipulations on license approvals. Randy?
Okay, so I'll try not to drag this out. So as some of you or maybe all of you are aware that through the winter, we have had issues with vehicles parking along Route 100 in front of the Snow Republic. My officers have been, aware of it. There's been calls. There's been some cases started. So there are logged incidences. I myself, I know of at least 3 occasions, whether I was on off duty and at certain locations of businesses, both in Wilmington and Dover, was brought to my attention about the issues of the parking on Route 100 Snow Republic. There was an evening in January, and prior to that, Mr. Bansley has been warned, numerous times that he's got to take care of the parking issue on Route 100. There was a night in January where Officer Sam Morris was working, and there was like a substantial amount. So he called me, and I said, well, since they've been warned, just get a couple of tow trucks and just start hooking them. He got called away. When he got back, half of them had been gone. They started hooking up to some cars, and obviously the patrons that came out, and a lot of them were a little upset. I then made a point to go see Mr. Bansley in person to talk about the issue. At first, he told me he didn't believe it was his concern and for us to just tow him. I told him that they are his patrons, thus they are his concerns. After we talked a little bit, then I told him that he needs to start paying attention to the parking, or when it comes time to license renewal, I will consider putting stipulations on his license. So at that point, he, agreed to do what he could. We talked about like he was going to put up cones. I said, that's not going to work because in the middle of winter, highway goes down, they're going to take care of your cones. He said, I'll put up no parking signs. I said, you're going to have to get permission from the state within the right of way. I said, what you need to do is just make sure that no one is parked out there. So that seemed to have worked for a couple of weeks. And then I guess it started back up again. However, he has, tried, and I guess he's had a dorm in there. So it has kind of lessened. So I then asked Andy and Jeanette that when his license came in to hold it so I can think about it. So I did. I contacted Tom Curran, who is the Southern Director of Department of Liquor Control. I talked to him. I also talked with Rob Faley, the AOT District Manager. He's over in Bennington for this area. And then I also had another conversation with Mr. Bansley, and I also invited him that I would send him a link if he didn't get it to participate in tonight's meeting. He said he was fine with what I was going to present to you guys. Anyway, so talking with, I guess, first with liquor control about the issue, we can put any stipulations we want on a liquor license. He highly recommended that whatever we do it through our town attorney. That way all the legal language is, up to par. And we can even do this in the beginning or halfway through the year if an issue arises, that we can also revisit the liquor license at that point and then add stipulations and then send them to the state. Any violation of any stipulations or permits that the town does put on any liquor license, the Board of Liquor Control, the state, will deal with any violations of those. The town does not have to. So that's talking with Tom Curran. So then I talked with Bob Faley, about maybe putting up some permanent no parking signs along Route 100 in that area, to help out. Because like I told Mr. Bansley, I'm there for him. I want to try to work with him. He's got a business in bringing in jobs and stuff into the town. So this is where my thought is one, Bob Faley said they can put up the no parking signs along Route 100. That would have to come through the town, or he said I can do it on behalf of the town to put in that request. Just in an email with that request, I would put in, where I would want the no parking signs and then send it to him in an email. It then goes to a traffic committee, and then that traffic committee would then designate that portion of the road a no parking zone with signs. So after looking at it, I figured that would be the one way to try to go. And so I've also talked with Mary Jane at Twice Blessed, because where the no parking zones, I would like them to go back up even as close to her property. That way they don't start halfway down between the two businesses and cars think, okay, well, we can park north of the signs, we just can't park down south, and that doesn't alleviate the problem. Mary Jane has no problem with that. I've also talked with, not that it makes a difference with, and I did just recently, Linda Holland, because of their pump houses down there. And she mentioned that they have also had issues with people parking in there, and their concern with them, and again, that's not our issue, but I'm just letting you know, is, with the way they park in there and the way some of their pipes and stuff are up out of the ground, someone's had too much to drink, and depending how they park, if they put their car in driver reverse and hit those pipes, then the whole town sewer line along Route 100 is in trouble. So what they plan on doing is putting up some cement posts this spring or summer with a chain across to protect, that property there. Maybe jumping around here. Rich Werner had reached out to me because he saw this. His concern about that, because he wanted to know, and it was brought to him, was what if a fire truck or an ambulance can't get into, the Snow Republic because of the amount of cars. So in short, I told Richard, well, you know what, that's not really, a police issue. My issue is that they get off Route 100. What would be really the difference, at any other establishment or a private home, if fire or rescue can't get in, where do they park on the road? So, but he couldn't be here. He wanted me to raise that issue, that was his concern, and whether or not there'd be a fire zone, put in, in front of the building or whatever, but that's not on me. So I talked to Mr. Bansley. Told him that my thought was that as long as the town would approve having these no parking signs put up along Route 100 in that area on both sides of the road, that I will go that route. The state will pick up the cost of that. They said they would do it while they're already out taking care of signs and stuff like that. And it's only probably a couple of $100, if that anyway, to do this. So with that being said, then obviously they can't park on that, shoulder either, in which I explained to Mr. Bansley that come in the summertime when the snow banks are gone, they now can't even park, say on the shoulder. Now, if they're probably completely off and on his lawn, then that's probably, good to go. And we'll have to take each case by case. So anyway, so we're going to go with the no parking signs if the town agrees. He said that he also now has doormen that has also been, keeping an eye on it. So I told him that what I would like to see is that continues. I said the only other option I would have, and I'm not really sure, and I'm going to leave this up to the board if you want to make this a stipulation and put it in there, is that if with the no parking signs and his doorman, if those two things do not work, then I am going to request that he has to hire a parking lot attendant to make sure that Route 100 is kept clear for safety reasons. I don't necessarily see that. I don't think we'll come to that point. I'm hoping that the signs will continue. Now, talking with Tom Curran from Liquor Control, he did say that we don't have to put that stipulation in there now. We can see how things go, give it the benefit of the doubt. And let's just say halfway through the year, we see that the no parking signs are not working and they're not helping keeping it clear, then we can hold as, the board as a, Liquor Control. I can bring my concerns back up to you guys. We can then relook at it, get the language that we would want from the town attorney, and then stipulate that at such a date going forward, you need to have a parking attendant. So that's where I'm going with the Snow Republic, and willing to take any questions, your guys' thoughts or concerns, because obviously to have a town attorney to do this all now, you guys know what actually costs money. And I'm on the fence, so it's up to you. I don't know if it's a necessity right now to include that, but I'm okay with that. And Mr. Bansley was okay with it as well when I talked to him. So I'll end it there.
Dan?
Some of the principals come in my place here, and they were very happy about the idea of putting up no parking signs and towing the people away, because it's a nuisance for them and they can't even handle the business. So they stand outside and clutter up the place. So I think that's a great solution, Randy.
The only other thing I will add, and it actually comes in, and I have right here, I don't know how many pages it is, but it's Department of Liquor Control's, it's not law, but it's their regulations that they put on licensees. And in short, number 36, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it basically says, nor shall a licensee permit or suffer such premises to be conducted in such a manner as to render such premises or the streets, sidewalks, parking lots, or highways adjacent thereto a public nuisance. So that falls under where I said that he is, responsible. Those are his patrons, and that he is responsible. So, and obviously parking there on the road is a public nuisance. So that does fall under that. And I think that's also why they said that they would deal with any of this stipulations, that the town doesn't have to. So.
Sarah?
Randy and I have talked about this and Tabby for quite a while. And my original impulse was to say that we include on every liquor license a blurb or an attachment that says that the license is contingent upon all adherence to all local, state, and federal permits and requirements. But it sounds like that's already covered by what Randy just read. I wasn't aware of that. So perhaps that what I was originally suggesting would be overkill.
Other comments? Tabby?
I agree with Sarah on that. I was unaware of some of that language from what Randy just read from the Liquor Control Board. So I think that will hopefully cover several issues that we have, and anything else that comes up, I think can be addressed.
Well, and I like it too, because it's not singling him out.
Exactly. It's universal.
It's a
Yeah.
blanket statement. So it's not like pointing at him and saying, you're a bad actor. Nobody else has to worry about this. So.
Right, if you guys want Tabby and or Sarah or anybody, I can just send that one little section, or it's actually on page 5. I can forward it to somebody if they want it. That was the important part of it, of that.
I trust you, Randy.
Of that paragraph. What's that?
I said, I trust you, Randy.
Oh,
I don't think you read it to me
thank you.
falsely.
Okay. Oh, whoa. I got some
No,
people with
no,
their
but there's
hands
a little
up.
bit.
Whoa. I got
Yeah,
people
there's a
with their
little bit
hands
before
up.
it.
Okay. First I had Dan.
Here at, next door to me, we have Dover Bar and Grill. And for years, they parked all over the place. And I've even made complaints to the police department. But the landlord has no problem with them doing it. So they couldn't be towed away because it's not a public place and it's not under the jurisdiction of the police department or the state. So, sometimes, even though that's a great stipulation, it doesn't necessarily work unless you have cooperation from the ownership.
Jeanette.
I was just gonna ask, that stipulation that you just read, do establishment owners, are they aware of this? That's not on their license approval, is it? Or is it?
So I would say that is not, and I'm not sure how the state of Vermont Liquor Control makes those regulations available to a licensee. I'm going to assume, and I'm only guessing, I didn't ask that question. And actually, I didn't get this from Tom Curran. I got this from my officer, Bill Manch, who used to work with liquor control, because I discussed it with him, since he's internal and knows a lot about it, even though he's been out for a while and things have changed. And he did tell me, there's a lot of pages to it. And so I'm not really sure if I would assume that when you're a licensee and going for an application, that I'm going to assume that this is directed them, so they would have to know it at some point, so they know. If not, then I don't know who that really falls on. But to me, it's like, never mind. I don't want to go down that road. You got. If you're opening up a business, you got to know what all the licensees and what all the permits and all the what ifs, to get that license is. So I would think that they would know this, whether or not they read it, just like, you read a contract, and all the fine print. But I think that falls on the licensee, the responsibility, my opinion.
That's ignorance of the law.
Right.
So
didn't wanna
I
go
have a
that way,
question,
so I'm glad
Randy.
you did. Yep.
Randy. So TC's has, particularly on busy evenings, parking attendant. Is that just because they do that, or is it because it's part of their liquor license?
Nope. As far as I know of, I think they do that on their own, just like even those sticky fingers, it's not a liquor license, but you see that, at their busy times, they also have someone out there. I think it's just that they realize that they don't have a very big parking area.
Mhm.
And if they can control the parking, they might be able to fit more cars in there than if they just allow the public to park themselves. That way it's more organized, so they can get more people in there for business. So yeah, as far as I know of, that has been nothing that's been on any of their applications that they had to do that. I think that's just something they do on their own.
Well, and I think it works. So
Absolutely.
I commend them for doing that, and it's probably a smart business decision as well. So any other comments about what Randy's told us about Snow Republic? Jeanette.
I just wanted to, the last person who just logged on, Erector Beer. I don't know who that is.
Director Beer, could you identify yourself? This is a public meeting. We need to take attendance.
Oh, this is Justin at Snow Republic.
Ah,
Justin at Snow Republic. Justin, do you know what's your last name, Justin?
Maturo.
Maturo. Do you have a comment or are you just listening?
Listening.
Okay, thank you.
Peace.
Okay, anything else? Does somebody want to make a motion to approve the liquor licenses for Snow Republic at this point? Sarah Shippey.
I move that we approve the first and third class licenses for snow and the outside consumption permit, excuse me, for Snow Republic LLC.
Second.
Second by Joe. Any comments? I have one question. Randy, when did this V-Trans say they might be able to get the signs up?
So that would not happen until probably, obviously sometime this spring and or summer when the ground unthaws. And so it would be shortly, whenever they would do their signage is probably when it would happen. I could probably get more of that information from Mr. Faley. And that would be my next question to you after you guys do this, is for your authorization to reach out to Mr. Faley. If that's what you guys want to do, is to have those no parking signs up, and I will contact him because then, like I said, he'll submit that to the committee. And he said that usually could take a month or so. And then it's just a matter. So I don't think you'd see the signs, until, I don't know, I'll just guess and say July. It could be earlier. I don't know.
Okay. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll entertain a motion to come out of the Board of Liquor Control.
So moved.
Vicky?
Yes, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
The signs.
no, yeah. And I guess I don't know if this is still then part of liquor control. Then are you giving me then permission on behalf of the town to reach out to the state to have those signs put in?
Yeah, I'm not sure that strictly falls under liquor control,
Okay.
but I would
All right.
say that is the board in agreement that should happen, that Randy should reach out and put the sign.
Yeah.
put the sign-
Yes.
Yes,
Agreed.
Great idea.
the board agrees.
Okay, thank you.
With our blessings.
Great. Now, I think we've
Motion
Yes,
to come out
Sarah.
of liquor control?
Oh, yes.
out. Joe says out. All in
Out.
favor?
Your liquor, hot liquor.
All right. The consent agenda. We need to approve the minutes of February 16th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Any changes, additions, corrections? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We need to approve the warrants of February 20th for $178,818.35.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Joe. Any questions on the warrants? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
FYI, public meeting on Dover local hazard mitigation plan is March 25th from 3 to 6. And that's a Zoom meeting. And we also have a local hazard mitigation survey. Jeanette, what is this about?
That Alyssa Sabetto, who's running the hazard mitigation meeting from Wyndham Regional, she asked if they're looking to get the public's response to that survey to help with the hazard mitigation plan, just to get some public feedback. So that link is there on the agenda. It'll be on the website as well. So they're encouraging folks to take that survey.
Okay, Sarah?
I just wanted to, I probably should have mentioned this under public comment, but I have been in touch with Becca from the state, from Efficiency Vermont, and Chuck Clarisi, who's our local person, and forwarded them the preliminary information that they requested to help us figure out where we could use some of the state money for efficiency improvements.
Okay.
And
So
once
that's an
that gets
FYI
set,
for us.
yes, and once that gets settled, then I'll work with, probably with Travis to do virtual walkthroughs in the buildings for Chuck Clarisi to come up with some suggestions for what would be the most appropriate use of the money.
Great. Eric?
So Shannon and I just realized we missed sending an FYI to Jeanette this week. There is this month's Dover Trails and Recreation Committee meeting is next Tuesday, March 9th at 6:30 p.m. and that is a public meeting.
Thank you. Any other FYIs? Do we have any liaison reports? Hearing none. We have an executive session. Are we, Tabby, are we still having this executive session?
I think we can table this until later.
Okay, no executive session. Anything else? Well, I hear nothing, so
Yes,
yes,
Oh,
Scott.
Sorry, I should have mentioned this earlier at public comments. I just wanted to thank Vicky for her testimony. Yeah, it was great and representing us, and yeah, you can go catch that testimony on YouTube as well. So thank you, Vicky.
I
Much
watched it,
appreciated.
but you did an excellent job.
Jeanette?
Testimony for,
Okay, so I testified last Tuesday in front of a joint Senate Education and Finance about the waiting study and about our concerns about the inequity that is currently in our area and for a lot of rural schools and other schools. So I testified in front of that committee. And it is on YouTube. You can see it. Yeah, hopefully we're making some motion forward, trying to get SAS 13, the Senate Bill 13, out of the Senate before crossover. I'm not sure, but I hope something's going to happen positively with that. So thank you, Scott. And I have nothing else tonight. So we'd like to adjourn the meeting at 7:38 p.m.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.